Okay, over to my right, there's a young lady who's been staring into her cell phone for several minutes without moving. And I was already thinking about doing this video. It's a public safety issue when women are so into their cell phone and not aware of what's happening around them. It's a big public safety issue. Now, the cell phone has definitely replaced human relationships, and a lot of women have a false belief that if they're attacked, that there's going to be enough time for them to pull out their phone, dial 911, and that someone's going to be there in time to actually help them or rescue them. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding. There's so many things wrong with that equation. Plus, if the grid goes down, yeah, not a good scenario. So it seems like, a lot of women in today's society are being led into a trap. But more than that, the focus of this video is to raise awareness that it's a public safety issue when women are being mesmerized on their cell phone. Not to mention hypnotized. They're not aware of what's going on around them. And you can, if you're talented, if you have good peripheral vision, you can do one thing, but also be aware of what's going on behind you. Be aware of other things. Be aware of traffic. But a lot of people in today's day and age aren't really being aware. They're looking straight down at that cell phone. And the issue is a lot of people are getting there. I see someone else on their cell phone. So 9 out of 10 women that I see, and that could be generous. It might be more like 19 out of 20. They're all on their cell phone. And more so when they're younger. But older women are not immune as well, or either. They're not immune, but it's more younger women that seem to be so easily mesmerized. And so there's an addiction issue, addiction to attention. And the technologies that are available to us today are really there to bring out those narcissistic tendencies. We really should be using the technologies to learn more about the world that we're living in. To show a sense of interest in what's going on with the sun and the universe. To show genuine interest in those things and what humanity is capable of with the sharing of information, and not be so easily mystified with or distracted or consumed with the pleasure centers in our brain that are going off whenever we're being given attention, either through Facebook or through a like. So there are so many ways that women today are actually being enslaved by the cell phone. And it's in that addiction part of the brain, it's that need to feel important, and it's that replacement boyfriend or husband protector, that link to the government, dialing 911. It would be more effective to have a panic button that sends out a drone that'll come videotape whatever's going on. That'll be, and maybe they'll announce that in the future. Women could get a panic button, they just hit it and a drone will come out. At the very least, film it or try to tase the suspect. I could see in the future this type of full grid surveillance drone dispatch police officer robot thing coming about. But people really in the here and now need to pay attention and realize that someone could profile them and go, you know what? Yeah, go for the women that are on their cell phone. Knock it out of their hands, put them in a car. How many people have already done this? How many people have already been attacked because they were looking at their cell phone and they walked into a trap? How many times has this important detail not been reported? Maybe because the reporters have a bias and they don't see something wrong with people being so distracted by the cell phone. So don't make yourself an easier victim. And I see far less men that are hypnotized by the cell phone, but a lot of them have cell phones, but they're not on it as much. And there's a lot of idiot men out there that are idiots in their own way, but they're not on the cell phone as much. It seems to be some sort of psychological weapon used against women and used against the human species as a whole to divide us and pull us further and further into this grid. Not to mention the possibility that people are becoming hypnotized by the cell phones, by this LCD screen. It's public knowledge now that the grid as we know it is really volatile if a massive solar flare is able to get through our Earth's protective magnetic field. But how many women today are expecting their cell phone to work in the event of a disaster? So it's like the whole human species is being set up for a fall to get us dependent on technology. Technology and the system replaces family, it replaces relationships, and then when we really need other people or a protector or someone in our lives, we don't have it, and we're all alone in these major cities without power. Knowing what we know about the grid's vulnerability, how much sense does it make for the cell phone to become the surrogate protector? And how much sense does it make in a day and age where there's so much violent crime taking place for people to allow themselves to be distracted and hypnotized by this LCD screen? So this is just food for thought that I want to put out there on YouTube today.